Things are going so poorly for Ron DeSantis in his presidential bid that a group of Republicans in Florida, known as the Republican Assembly of Florida, which is not affiliated with the Florida state government, although they do wield some power there. But either way, the Republican Assembly here in the state of Florida has now sent an open letter to Ron DeSantis demanding that he end his failing presidential campaign and actually come back to the state of Florida and pay attention to the job that he is supposed to be doing. Now, listen, I agree with their sentiment, right? But I don't agree with let's bring Ron DeSantis back here to Florida. I got to tell you, as somebody that lives in Florida, it's actually been pretty nice not having that complete a-hole down here in the state. I mean, the sun shines a little brighter, the weather's a little bit nicer, but when he comes back, there's this big giant dark cloud hanging over the entire Tallahassee area that very quickly spreads across the entire state. Ron DeSantis has not done a single thing as governor to actually benefit the residents of the state of Florida, right? His attacks on teachers, his attacks on books, his war on woke, and his attacks on the transgender community, his attacks on critical race theory, none of that has actually benefited anyone in the state. His fight with Disney has not benefited anyone other than Disney, actually. So he's done nothing as governor to help any of us out. So I disagree that he needs to come back to the state and do his job. I understand y'all want him to do his job because he is failing the state. Our economy is in the toilet. So yeah, it would be helpful, but even if he came back, he wouldn't be doing any of that, so I don't know what y'all are bitching about in the first place. But here is what the Florida Republican Assembly had to say. Governor Ron DeSantis has been using his position as governor to campaign for the office of the President of the United States, taking him away from his official duties and responsibilities to the citizens of Florida, frequently at taxpayer expense. I agree with you wholeheartedly on that. Governor DeSantis' presidential campaign has been met with a lack of enthusiasm by voters nationally and has not gained any significant momentum. In fact, to the contrary, and the campaign has caused a distraction in the mechanism of government within Florida, and the interests of Florida residents have been placed secondary to those of his presidential campaign. Furthermore, the Florida Republican Assembly requests that Governor DeSantis rededicate himself to the needs of Florida residents and prioritize their interests over his personal political ambitions. Again, in sentiment, I agree with you. However, y'all are overlooking the fact that, one, this is why Florida had a resign to run law that the Republican Party of Florida actually repealed. Because it's kind of hard to give a damn about the state when you're out there trying to seek higher office. That's why the law existed. But the Republicans repealed it to accommodate Ron DeSantis. So your quibble seems to be with your own party. So maybe you ought to take it up with them. But that's why the law was in place to begin with. Second of all, you're overlooking the fact that everything DeSantis has done since becoming governor of Florida was meant to appeal to a national audience so that he could eventually run for president. Everything he's done. Again, not to benefit us, not to benefit the actual people who live here. It's been done to show on a national stage how tough he is, right? He sent Florida National Guards members over to Texas to secure the border. He flew those migrants from Texas to other states up to Martha's Vineyard and all that. No, that wouldn't have benefited us. That was to bolster his national credentials so he could run for president. So you guys are, the Florida Republican Assembly, you're a little misguided on what you think has been happening for the last 5 years, because none of it has been to actually benefit the state of Florida, but all of it has been to set Ron DeSantis up for his presidential run that luckily has crashed and burned at an absolutely spectacular rate. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.